As an entrepreneur, the question to ask yourself is, how do thoughts become things? How do you create the outcomes that you want for your life predictably every time, over time, and constantly create outcomes that you want? Is that possible? Well, the answer is yes. We are an incredible creature. We've been created with this mind, this ability to create something out of nothing. We get to create whatever it is that we want with the power of thought. What I want to talk to you about today is, how do thoughts become things? How do we actually create the experience of life that we want to create in our business, in our relationships, in our health, in the friends that we have, the size of business that we have? How do we do that? I want to talk to you today about the mechanism for creating what it is that you want in your life. And once you understand this mechanism, then you just actually refine it. You actually get better and better. You become more competent at executing on the creative process. And I want to introduce you to, and for some of you, you may already know many of the laws that govern success. And in Wallace D. Wattles' book, and in our training course on the science of getting rich, Wallace D. Wattles talks about the greatest of all laws, and that is energy is. Energy just is. If you are a believer in God, then you would say God is. And energy permeates every single part of our human experience. There's nothing that isn't at its base level just energy. And the quantum scientists have discovered that, it's always said that there's matter and there's energy. Well, the quantum scientists have gone deeper than that, and basically they've come to the conclusion that everything just is energy. So if that's the case, then a thought is energy. And understanding how to deliberately direct our thinking, we are able to create the outcomes that we want in our life predictably, every time, over time, and for the rest of our lives. This present moment is when creation happens. And everything that we create starts with a thought. So if we take these this law that energy is, that's the great law, and we look at the 7 subsidiary laws. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of them today, and one of them is the perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is moving into form and out of form all the time. And how do we apply that understanding to our journey as an entrepreneur? Well, I've done quite a bit of research because I'm studying it with a couple of my personal clients at the moment. And there are a number of really relevant ideas. The first being is that if energy is perpetually moving into form and out of form, that means that the only constant that we're living with is change. And when, as an entrepreneur, if we're not continually changing, if we're not continually upgrading or thinking bigger thoughts, continually growing as an entrepreneur, then we're just going to get left behind, because change is inevitable. And we can see that in the world, in the pace of change that's happening with the advent of AI and the massive shifts in our industries around the world, and how quickly people are bringing new ideas, new products, new services to market all the time. So as an entrepreneur, we have no luxury. There's no sitting on your laurels. We're constantly having to use the law of perpetual transmutation of energy to our favor. So I'll go through a couple of these ideas, but I do want to just summarize the mechanism that enables us to create the outcomes in our life. And base of this, the bedrock that it's based on, is a formula that's been with us for thousands of years. It was brought to us by one of the greatest leaders to ever walk this planet. And it's in pretty much every self-help book, business book of any worth. They describe this formula. And the formula is, for creation of what it is that we want in our life, is desire, what it is that you want, plus non-resistant belief in accepting or achieving that outcome, that desire, that result that you want, equals desired outcome. That's the formula. So desire plus non-resistance equals desired outcome. So if that's the case, then, and the present moment, what the dominant thoughts that we're thinking over and over, the habit of imagination that we're engaged in right now, is creating the future outcomes that we will experience tomorrow, the next day, the next week, next year. That's what's happening right now. We're in effect part of creation right now, if we accept these ideas or not. It's just what it is. So when we, as an entrepreneur, if we decide to embrace these ideas, learn how to utilize them to our advantage, we have a massive advantage in life. Not that it's important to be the winner. That's not the point, because there's more than enough for everybody. But it is about the quality of life experience that you experience in your life is all determined by the quality of the thoughts that you have and the focus on those thoughts. So if we talk about the process of creation, there is an internal mechanism that goes to work. So how does this work? Well, we get it's operating in our lives whether we're consciously aware of it or not. Okay, but if you are consciously aware of it, this is how the internal process works. We recognize what it is that we don't want, and immediately our mind goes to finding out what we do want. That is desire. So this, when we recognize what we do want and we deliberately decide, it may be outside of your conscious awareness or your experience of how to achieve what it is that you want. It may be way outside of the realm of belief, what is possible for you right now. That's got nothing to do with the creative process. The creative process is, what do you want? Decide what you want, and allow the infinite intelligence, that this intelligent system that we're working in, or allow God of your understanding to start to deliver to you around that new decision that's outside of what it is that you believe is possible, what I call the boundary of constraint that's constraining you right now from living the life that you truly want to live. And you've made a decision beyond that. It might be in the area of your health, it might be in the area of wealth, in extraordinary experiences in life, or relationships, much better relationships. You might not be in a great relationship right now, but your desire to have one. If you hold that new decision, which is literally energy, it's a thought outside of this realm of what you understand is possible for you right now, and you hold that in this space, this area of infinite possibility or imagination, you just hold it there for long enough, then we have what we call a confirmation bias. Your mind will start to go to work to find the evidence to prove the ideas to support that new thought that you're holding in space, this new energy source that you've put out into a new area of that you want to create for your life. Okay, so it all starts in our imagination. So we've held that in there. This is the inner work that you're doing. You hold it there and the ideas start to flow. Okay, great. So what happens now is that when the minute you make a decision of what it is that you want and you start to focus on that, what happens with focus, the decision creates focus, and focus allows you to populate your mind with plots, plans to achieve that. It is not the only part that is activated when you decide on a new idea. This is where, and a lot of people underestimate the power of leverage. Because if we understand that we're living in an intelligent universe that is, and life is operating for our better good all the time, if we believe that, then, and when we understand that there is a perfect plan for every single human being's life, all we have to do is learn how to get into non-resistance. Because the desire that we have on our heart was laid there before we even came to this planet. And when we understand that and we accept that it doesn't make any sense, it's not logical, it's completely emotive, it's what we want, it's the reason why we came to the planet. It is our purpose, our passion. It might be this beautiful enterprise that you want to create, and you feel that you're a mission-driven or mission-inspired entrepreneur, and you want to create this beautiful entity to deliver a service or a product to improve people's lives. Okay, that is what you're so passionate about. How does it happen? Well, it starts with the internal process first, making the decision. So you've made the decision. You're starting to get these ideas that are coming around, this new thought that's in your mind, in your imagination, and you're making this a habit. The minute that happens, this intelligent universe starts to go to work for you, because what is now happened is that you've elevated, if we imagine that we're living in 4 levels of understanding at any one time. We are a spirit being having a human experience. And that spirit being, there is an awareness, there is a feeling, there is a relationship that we have as in our human form with the spirit part of ourselves, the infinite part of our life. We have this thought energy that we move into every day. We think consciously about what's happening in our life, what we would love to have in our life. When we get emotionally involved with those thoughts, that's when we become passionately engaged, emotionally engaged with the thought that we've held in the conscious part of our mind and our imagination. So now we've got this, that's the 3rd level of understanding. So we've got spirit, we've got thought, we've got emotion, and then we have this physical experience that we experience all day, every day in our life. So 4 planes of understanding at any one time. It can be really confusing for people because none is more important than the other. The whole human experience that we have incorporates all 4. And some of us may only understand how to interpret life through our physical senses, through what we see, hear, smell, taste, touch. That may be the only way that we've been experiencing life. But you do have thoughts, you do have emotions, you do have a spiritual side to you. So when we activate a new idea, what happens is that the law of vibration sends out a new level of vibration, a new frequency, and that is communicated to other people in the world. That is how coincidences happen. That's how when you've got this thought that you get passionately involved with, this idea, this goal that you want to achieve, and you get passionately involved about it, you start to emit a frequency, and that's where you start to lift your game. You start to change lanes from this is where you're operating at the moment, your goal is up here, and you start moving up, changing lanes to getting towards the goal that you want to achieve. The game is an internal game first. It's not about hard work. It's not about sacrifice. It's not about sweating and working hard. We've bought the wrong idea. Every great thing that that I've achieved in my life, for my small life. I don't have a massive life, but I've had successes in my life which are, I think, extraordinary from where I come from to where I am now. So how far have I come? I'm far better than I was when I was 18 years old, when I started in my work life. Far better. And I've had significant financial gains along the way, and I understand the mechanism of achieving it. And it wasn't through my hard work. I did work hard. I did go and put effort out. But I now understand that there's more to it now. There are what Abraham says is cooperative components start to show up. The resources you need, which are external to you, they're not the internal workings of your achievement mechanism. They are external to you. They are the people that you meet. When I got involved in business, there was a business that we sold in a part of that business. A company bought, a bigger company than ours. In fact, our business was trading insolvently for 2 years. This company bought into that business. And then within a couple of years, we were part of my business partner, he and I started it, we were part of a public listed company. How does that work? And it all married up with a decision I made when I was 15 to be a millionaire by the time I'm 30. When I got to my 30th birthday, I remember exactly where I was. I had 2 secretaries because I could hardly string a sentence together. I was a farm boy, and now I'm part of a public listed company. And it wasn't I didn't create the public listed company. It was other people who created it. I didn't put together all the components to list this company on a stock exchange. Other people did it. But I was part of it. And this is the point, is that it's not all down to us. A lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of thinking that they have to have the plan, that they have to be the center of the creation that they're trying to create. It's not true. You decide what you want, and then you get into non-resistant belief that you can have what you want, that you deserve what you want, that you're worthy of having what you want. That's the work that we have to do. That's the work that is mostly misunderstood by most entrepreneurs because they're so focused on controlling the outcome. When you learn to let go of the outcome and leave the outcome to this infinite intelligence that governs everything in life, that's coordinating all the components that you need to achieve what it is that you want. And if you relax into that idea, if you learn to enjoy the process and hold the idea for long enough for it to germinate into your life and become part of your life, you'll change your life forever. Once you understand the process, that includes an internal component and it includes the leverage of all the components, the people, the resources, the money that you need to achieve what you want to achieve. All you have to do is decide what it is that you want. All you have to do then is work out what's causing the inner conflict, what's causing the resistance that's holding you from acquiring what you want. That's all you have to do. It's not a very complicated system. It's actually really simple. And what most people do is they start this process of personal development, or they've been in personal development for a long time, and they decide on a new goal. They try it for 30 days, nothing happens, so they let it go and say, this is BS, it doesn't work. You've got to hold it until it germinates. The one thing about a goal, it's a spiritual seed. But unlike a carrot, we know when we plant a carrot how long it's going to, the gestation period until we get the carrot that we can eat. A goal, your spiritual seed, is we can guess at a time, but if you don't hit that timeline, it was just a guess. Just keep going. Keep trusting in the process, that all you need to do is just stay firm on what it is that you want, and then start weeding the garden of your subconscious mind of limiting beliefs, of resentments that are holding you apart from a growth state of being. There's only 2 states of being, at any one time. You can only be in one at a time. And one is a growth state where you're connected to your higher side of your personality, to infinite, to the God of your understanding, and you are resourceful. The ideas start to flow. You remain curious, you're joyful, you're exuberant about life, or that's a growth state, or you're disconnected and you are in a primal state of being, and that's when you're in fight and flight. And it actually lines up with our nervous system. Either you're activating in a primal state your sympathetic nervous system, or you're in a parasympathetic state where you are relaxed and you are in a regenerative mode where your digestion's working and you are ruminating over life and you're calm and relaxed. It's one or the other. And quite honestly, nowadays, in our first world countries, which are relatively safe, we need less and less to activate our sympathetic nervous system. It should not be activated at all if you order a chai latte and the lady that makes your chai latte uses the wrong type of milk. That is not the correct use of your sympathetic nervous system. You should not be activated by something like that. So when we activate our sympathetic nervous system, we go into fight, flight, freeze mode. We're not in our creative mode. We are disconnected from our creative state of being. And so that is the simple way to explain how thoughts become things. Our mind or our brain is a goal-seeking mechanism. So the thought that you hold there, the dominant thought that you hold on the screen of your imagination over time is what's going to come and be a part of your life. So I hope that helps. I love you. I love entrepreneurs because you are the change makers in society, and you're important because you are stepping out, creating something that only you can see on the screen of your mind. Most people will tell you you're crazy. Why don't you go and get a safe and secure job and get a salary and work for someone and pay off your mortgage and make sure that your kids go through school rather than taking the unnecessary risk of creating something that you genuinely want to create and bring into the world. So I congratulate you, I applaud you, and I encourage you to stay the course, to keep listening to the right information, feeding your mind so that you can change the habits of imagination, because change, sustainable, radical change comes through a changed mind. And you've got this power within you. It's an infinite power that you can leverage. The internal work that you need to do, and then this external component that is the leveraging of all of this universe's intelligent creation to assist you, to leverage you to the goal that you want to achieve, the desire that you want, the outcome that you want for your life, the result that you want. And it'll come to you predictably every time, over time, if you give it time. That's the way it works. But you have to do the inner work to maintain the belief system to allow you to bring that new idea, that new decision, that new desire into the world. And you can feel it. If you feel good, then you are in your connected state. If you don't feel good, you're disconnected. But understand that using that as that contrast of I don't feel good, well, what do I prefer, is the mechanism for growth, all right? And you have the freedom of thought, to create habits of thought, habits of emotion, habits of imagination for you to bring what it is that you want into the world and activate this intelligent system to work with you. Well, it is working with you. When we are deactivated, we're actually resisting that help. That's freely available. The whole, everything that we need, the human technology that we need, we already have it. It's in your mind. And when you learn to use it, you become unstoppable. you become a, a magnet for success. So I hope this helps, and I'll be back next week. Thank you.